What is up, everybody? Kyle over here at the Horrorphile. Today, I'm coming back with another episode. This will be episode 10 of my Disturbing Movies series. Today, I'm reviewing a movie from 2012 called Hate Crime. Let me know what you guys think. Check it out. What is up, everybody over here at the Horrorphile? This is Kyle coming back. Another disturbing movie review today. I've been pumping these out pretty hardcore lately. We're actually already on episode 10 of this disturbing movies reviews. And like I said in my previous episode, if you haven't watched, these disturbing movie reviews are, not necessarily, you guys might not think the movie's disturbing. If you watch it, I'm giving you my thoughts on it, on why it's considered disturbing. I do a lot of research on these disturbing movies. I watch a lot of videos, get on IMDb, and I spend a lot of time just researching why certain movies are considered disturbing and why certain movies aren't. The movies that I am reviewing on here on this series are considered by a lot of people to be disturbing or have disturbing elements to them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments below after I do these reviews. That helps me out to, give me suggestions as well. That'll help me out to kind of pick out what I'm going to do next. But today on this review, we are reviewing a movie from 2012 called Hate Crime. This movie was directed by James Cullen Bressak, and it was also written by him and a guy named Jarrett Cohen. I'm not familiar with anything James Cullen Bressak has directed. This movie was and I will say this about the directing, it was a found footage movie, but it seems like it would be somewhat difficult to direct this type of movie. Not a found footage movie, but this type of movie. Everything in this movie was very closed in. Like, they're in this house, and they're always in these small little rooms, and it seems like they're always in the person's face. So the director had to be like all up in everybody's grill the entire movie. So it seems to me like that'd be a pain in the ass to direct. So props to him for at least that. So this movie stars Jodie Barton, Nicholas Adam Clark, and Greg DiPietro. Not really familiar with any of those actors. Never seen any of these actors before. I will say the acting in this movie was pretty decent for what it was. But we'll go and get into the plot of this. This movie's super simplistic, just like my last review was. There's really not a whole lot of plot to this, to be honest with you. It's a literally 2-sentence plot. Basically, this Jewish family moves into this new neighborhood because their father got a new job. The movie starts out and they're having the son's birthday party at the house. There's really not anybody there other than the family, and they're actually filming it with a camcorder. They're filming the son's birthday, him blowing out the candles, they're giving gifts and stuff. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, these neo-Nazis bust up in the house and just take over the family. Basically, just they bust up in the house and they are holding the family hostage and just saying a bunch of racial remarks to them. How they really even knew these people were Jewish, you got me. I couldn't even tell they were Jewish, to be honest with you. I mean, you can't really tell that type of thing, but apparently they knew. So they busted up in the house. Apparently these people live in the area, I guess, and they just start pretty much torturing this family and just doing all this racial shit for really no reason to this family. And that's pretty much it. It's funny. It's kind of funny what the IMDb says about these neo-Nazis. This is word for word from IMDb. Home invaded by crystal-meth-crazed neo-Nazi lunatics. So apparently, they were on meth, and they were lunatics, and they were neo-Nazis, but it's just funny how they worded it. Invaded by crystal-meth-crazed neo-Nazi lunatics. I just thought it was hilarious. You don't really find out they're on meth until later on in the movie, where you see them kind of snorting lines and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole movie. I mean, I can get into detail on this movie. There really isn't any point in getting into detail. There are a lot of disturbing elements to this movie. I didn't necessarily find this movie disturbing. And I guess we'll just go ahead and get my thoughts of this movie. I didn't necessarily find this movie disturbing. I found it annoying as fuck, to be honest with you. This movie was just super, super annoying. There was so much yelling in this movie. It was... Alright, so if you guys have seen The Human Centipede 3... And Laser Dertix, I think that's his name, the main guy from the first movie, he yells throughout the whole movie, and that's what ruins Human Centipede 3. I mean, the whole movie sucked, but that's what mainly ruins that whole movie for me, was his yelling, constant yelling. This movie is the exact same. Every character is just constantly yelling in this movie. There's constant crying going on. There's constant yelling. The camera... like I was saying at the beginning of the review, the camera work I'm pretty impressed that the director was able to film it the way they did, but the camera was so shoddy. It was like this the whole time, and it was just a pain in the ass. It was like rewatching Cloverfield over. I mean, overall, I did not like this movie one bit. I thought this movie was probably one of the worst movies I've seen in the last few years. With this movie, it had the thing with this movie is it has an underlying meaning to it. They're trying to say, it's called hate crime. They're trying to say, hey, this stuff happens in the United States. We don't want this to happen anymore. This is what can happen, blah, blah, blah. They're just making a statement about hate crimes when I already feel that people already know about hate crimes. And I just don't feel that this movie was really necessary to try to make a point about hate crimes. I mean, this was it was a pretty bad way of trying to put it out there. For the most part, the acting was all right. I mean, there were some characters there's some characters in the movie that were there were some actors in the movie that weren't that great, that, were all right, but not that great. So the acting wasn't horrible. The directing was just shoddy. I mean, it was impressive to know that he did that, but it was shoddy. The disturbing elements to this movie, the reason that this is considered a disturbing movie is because of the racial. This movie is very, very, very racial. As far as it's about a group of neo-Nazis basically killing and torturing a Jewish family. There's one scene in this movie where one of the Nazi guys forces the son to have sex with the mother, which it doesn't show anything. It's the thought of it, I think. There's a scene at the beginning where a little kid gets shot and killed, almost off the bat, pretty much within the first 5 minutes. One of the kids gets shot and killed, which is kind of for some people, seeing kids die is a disturbing factor. Some more things that happen. There's a lot of torture in this movie. There's a lot of they're forcing the father to watch a lot of this torture happening to his kids. There's just a lot of vulgar statements made in this movie toward this family. But overall, I thought this movie was just lacking. I just thought it was just unnecessary. It wasn't really a necessary movie. It seemed like they were trying to be really edgy with this movie and try to make it as disturbing or as as out there as possible, pretty much is what it felt like to me. I just felt like the director or the writer tried to just say, hey, let's just get a bunch of dudes in a room with a bunch of people, we'll call them Jewish people, and we'll call these Nazi people, and just you say whatever you want to say in this movie, you make up the lines, because I couldn't imagine reading the script for this movie and then just the actors being actually going off the script. It seems like a lot of this stuff is probably made up on the spot, and y'all just do what you want to do. So, I mean, overall, I just did not like this movie. I didn't find it disturbing. I found it annoying as hell, and I thought it was dumb. And the only reason I wanted to review it is because to kind of put it out there to let you guys know, because I never heard of it until a couple weeks ago, and I just thought I'd watched it, hated it. I gave this movie a 3 out of 10. The only reason I gave it a 3, honestly, is because of the directing style. I thought it's really interesting to think about the director being, that close to the actor and kind of having to get up on their grill. I just feel like that was somewhat of a cool thing, and the acting wasn't that bad. But yeah, Hate Crime, 3 out of 10. Don't recommend it. Check it out if you want to. Like the video. Let me know what you think if you've seen Hate Crime. Let me know what you think about my previous videos. Subscribe to my page. And until next time, guys, peace.